health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
5 minutes after 8 o'clock, it is 66 degrees here at the studios of The Source, broadcasting live from the Paddock Mall. Looks like it's going to be a nice weekend. Looks like the evenings are going to be cool, or at least the early mornings are going to be cool. And not a bad looking forecast for the weekend. So
yeah.
So let's see. We got a couple things. You got Ocala Days tomorrow and Saturday, and tomorrow and Sunday at Ocala at the Silver Spring State Park.
Right.
But the Ocala Days is at the Silver River side, the old Silver River side.
Yeah, where the Silver River Museum is.
And the fundraiser for Sheriff Blair is on the Silver Spring, the attraction side, where the glass bottom boats are.
Yeah, that's where I would believe it is. Yeah, we think it's on that side.
We think it's
by the mansion.
By the mansion is what we think, because they said there were going to be bounce houses and other things. So
yeah, so it wouldn't fit on the Silver River Museum.
So it'll be busy.
Side.
It'll be busy over at Silver Springs this weekend.
Yeah,
we're gonna oompa over there this weekend.
We can. We always try to fit it in.
Think we'll be in the way?
I don't think so.
We can do a video. Take a video.
Yeah.
Take a video of everybody.
Yeah, we can do that.
Galen Unold is on the phone from LifeSouth Community Blood Center. Good morning, Galen.
Hey, good morning, Larry, Robin. How are y'all?
Pretty good. Where are you right now?
Just dropping off the kids at school.
We were kind of using a leftover piece, and the one I'm going to do with you is also leftover from the whole Veterans Day stuff that I had prepared. And there was one more thing. Well, we were talking about things that are the questions about the sentinels that guard the tomb of the unknown soldier.
Right, right.
So the one thing I didn't get to mention.
That is hard duty. I will tell you this. That you have to train for that. I know it sounds crazy, but
no, it doesn't sound crazy. Not after reading what we read. Did you hear any of it?
I did, and I think people really take for granted just how difficult that is, and that is an important, what they'll call a billet. That's an important role because it's really, in a lot of ways, it's the face of our military. So all of those high-profile positions are really, tough to get.
Right.
They only take the best.
But it takes 8 hours to prepare the uniform for the next time they're there. It's amazing.
So what?
And I was a side boy, and what that means is when you have dignitaries come on the boat, like admirals and things like that, you have to have your uniform has to be absolutely spotless. And so as a side boy, we would get side boy inspections on a monthly basis. And so your uniform had to be perfect to maintain that detail. And I mean, it was a big deal. It was an honor to be on that detail. But your uniform had to be perfect. So what we would literally do, because when you're walking from our berthing to our ships, we would get dressed in our whites. We would literally wrap garbage bags around our uniforms, pants, all the way up to our waist.
Really?
Just enough so we could walk, because you didn't want to get a smudge on your whites.
Wow.
That white polyester just... Wow. I mean, a ship is a dirty place. I mean, there's grease all over and things like that.
Yeah.
And so you would want to remain spotless. And they would tell you, they would say, clear the area, so you didn't rub up against anybody. Because, it was a big deal. You got inspected, and everything had to be perfect.
Wow. Did you ever get any grease on your whites?
No. Because you took... It was a big deal, because if you got what they call the demerit, you're allowed one. If you got two, you were kicked off the detail.
So have you ever received one of those emails that gives you the things I read but had some of them wrong?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to... There was one, and I'm like, that's not true at all. And that's when I started to realize, okay, I wonder how much of this has actually been bona fide, kind of a thing.
Right.
So,
well, the website
was talking about flags, and I'm like, I know my flags. That's wrong.
That's your specialty. It's the Society of the Honor Guard website, and it's called tombguard.org if you want to look it up. And all I was reading was the frequently asked questions part. There's a whole website. It's a wonderful website.
Oh,
so,
sure.
Tombguard.org. But there was one thing I wanted to mention, and then I have this, and because it's at Arlington Cemetery, it led me down that rabbit hole of Arlington Cemetery stuff. So I have some really cool Arlington Cemetery facts too. And this was something I prepared like a week ago or so for Veterans Day. But anyway, one more thing about the Tomb of the Unknown. If you want to lay a wreath there, you can. You can be a part of a ceremony, but it has to be well planned out. And it says here, let's see, you have to let them know at least 6 months in advance. There is likely no availability for conducting a ceremony because the slots fill up at least 6 months in advance.
Gosh.
Right.
And if you want to have a wreath ceremony, you've got to do it according to their rules. You can't do it your way.
Absolutely. Yeah. And most of the time it's for, a family member who lost someone who's MIA or something like that.
Wow.
So and they'll do that on their birthday or their date that they were missing. That kind of thing. So it's really cool. Last time I was in DC, I actually saw a wreath ceremony, and it's very, very formal, but it's not like they stop everything. But once they start, everybody just stops in just sheer respect. I mean, it's not like, hey, they don't go out and tell people to stop. You just stop because you feel compelled to stop and to pay your respect.
Can you imagine somebody being disrespectful to those sentinels, like yelling, like they do? Like they're disrespectful to the guy outside Buckingham Palace, the guy with the big black hat.
Yeah.
I mean, you see videos all the time of people saying things to the guy and stuff. So
trying to.
I mean, people do stupid things, and in their mind, they think it's funny, they think it's a joke, and they don't understand. And usually they're young, and they just don't know any better.
Right. Silly. So before we get to the things,
when I was there, they were protesting. I was there in 2004.
What were they protesting?
They were protesting the war in Iraq. So I remember that, and I was like, okay, there are better places to do it than here. So
disrespectful.
On the other side of, after we find out about the blood supply, I have things that are unique to Arlington Cemetery, which is where the Tomb of the Unknowns is, and I just think you're gonna like this. This is cool stuff.
It sounds cool.
It's the last thing I have from all my Veterans Day stuff that I prepared. So. And who better to have this discussion with than Galen?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Thank you, Galen, for your
I'm
service.
sure there's some probably people who know a whole lot more about it than I do.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Doug might.
Yeah.
Doug, do you know about this kind of stuff?
I guess I do.
Well, I could get Doug in on this then.
Yeah.
Galen, how's the blood supply right now? What do we need to know?
It's we're getting ready for Thanksgiving, so right now we need O negative and we need A positive apheresis, and so that's where we're at. So just get out there, donate blood. If you're if you've never done it before, give it a chance. It's well worth it. Feel good about yourself and save 3 lives.
Yeah, if you've never given blood before, ask yourself the question, why?
Right.
And if the answer is legitimate, then there's nothing we can do. But if you say you're scared, that's an honest answer. I'm a little bit nervous.
Yep.
Go through with it. It's easy. It's easy. It's a nice thing to say. Hey, guess what I did? I faced my fear.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a nice thing.
Hi, Galen.
Hey, Doug. Good to talk to you.
Yeah.
And
I just wanted to say to you, one of the veterans.
One of the veterans.
I was named after. And that's General MacArthur.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
I'll start calling you Douglas now.
Thank you,
Douglas. So this segment is sponsored by Penn Flooring, providing quality customer service with a family touch for over a quarter of a century. You have some beautiful flooring options that you can look at and consider putting in your own home or your office. The location of the showroom is 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the McKay-Williams Bridge. And be sure to thank them for sponsoring Galen, Unold, and LifeSouth. Penn Flooring. And don't forget Palm Garden also. They are a wonderful facility if you need long-term health care for somebody or for yourself, if you need respite care, if you need rehab care. All of the above are right there at Palm Garden. And call them up and get them to give you a tour. I'm trying to get their commercial here, so we can play it when it plays.
They do a great job over there. Jan and all of the staff there, they do wonderful stuff. Not just for the residents, but for the community as well.
I got it. Good. Thank you for finishing that for me.
You're welcome.
All right. We'll take a break. And when we come back, I have things that are unique to Arlington Cemetery. The final thing that I never got to do during this Veterans Day week. I think you'll find this interesting, and Galen's 2 cents. And Doug's 2 cents.
Yep.
Will play an important role in this discussion. We'll take a break and be right back.
weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Today will turn out mostly sunny with a high between 80 and 84. Clear to partly cloudy tonight, lows ranging from the 50s in some interior locations to about 67 at the beaches. Mostly sunny tomorrow, breezy and quite nice with highs in the 70s to near 80. Sunday, a partly sunny day and rather breezy, high 76 to 80. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hey, Robin, my friend's mother is getting out of the hospital and needs rehab before she goes home. Do you know of a rehab you'd recommend?
Sure. Our friend Jan Marino works at Palm Garden, and she's always talking about the work they do there.
Great idea. I'm going to call Jan right now. What's the number?
854-6262.
I'll call 854-6262, or I might just stop by Palm Garden. It's at the corner of 27th Avenue and 34th Street.
Great. I'll go with you.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
Your weekends are getting a little retool.
Swear to God, not making a joke.
Check this out. New shows? Check. We are my force. Some new talent? Check. Let's welcome the guys.
Let's get it going.
Arnie Spanier.
Unbelievable.
TJ Reeves.
This is what you get.
Your weekends are on fire.
Because that's how exotic it is.
We are my force.
Hospice of Marion County has an urgent need for volunteers to share a conversation with someone, run errands, hold someone's hand. All you need is a willingness to help others. Our volunteers believe the blessings they receive far exceed the services they offer. Will you consider serving, caring, and making a difference? Call today, 873-7441. Hospice of Marion County, making more moments of life possible.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking: will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
All right, 18 minutes after 8 o'clock, Galen Unold on the phone from LifeSouth Community Blood Center. If you didn't already get the message is simple. Your blood donations are the only reason there is a blood supply. Without those donations, then people don't live in hospitals who need surgery, or people who've been in accidents that need blood. So it's the cold hard fact. It's an easy thing to do, right, Galen? Just go. You just lay down. They take your blood. You're out. You're out of there. You watch the TV. It could be a 58-inch screen TV. How big are the TVs in
I think we got a 42-inch. I think it's 42-inch.
It's big enough for me.
But the hardest part is showing up. I mean, that's the hardest part.
That's true.
Showing up.
Yeah.
That's
Stepping
true.
into the bloodmobile.
The hardest part is showing up. Yeah.
It's sometimes getting your ID out. that could be a pain.
Yeah.
So if you haven't donated before.
All right, so I think you're going to like this. I hope so. And nobody's called to tell me, come on, what are you doing? It's not news. It says, this isn't funny stuff. I want funny stuff. I want news. This doesn't fall into either category. This is just, to me, interesting. So.
Hey, this could come up on Trivial Pursuit.
This could come up, yes. This could win you $1 million.
There you go.
Some game.
There you go.
All right.
That's right.
Here's some things that are interesting, unique about Arlington Cemetery.
Mike knows all this already, though.
What's that?
Mike already knows this. There's a lot of people who know this.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, this is on my bucket list, though. I have never been to Arlington Cemetery. I've never seen.
Oh, wow.
I've never seen the Tomb of the Unknowns. I've never seen the Eternal Flame of President Kennedy. I've never seen the World War II Memorial. I've seen the Vietnam Wall. I went there. And I've
Vietnam Wall is probably the most impactful. But when you go into Arlington, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know it was this big.
Right.
Arlington takes your breath away.
Now I went to the National Cemetery in Bushnell. I went to that cemetery.
Yeah. That was very moving too when you and I
Small
went
compared
there.
to Arlington.
But still
Small
big.
compared
But
to
still
Arlington.
big. And
Yeah.
still
No, it is.
It
Right.
and there's still a
I
sense
think Robin said it best. When you see Arlington, when you drive up, it does take your breath away.
really.
Because you know it's coming and you're thinking about it all day. You're like, okay, everybody that's there died in battle for our country.
Yeah.
Died for our country. And then you get there and it's just,
Well, aren't some of the
it's a little overwhelming. But there's also people buried there who didn't die in battle.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah. I misspoke there. Yeah, but every one of them is fought for our country. So.
All right, how many of you know this? The land that Arlington sits on used to belong to, can you fill in the blank?
George Washington.
No, it was I thought it was Jefferson or something. I can't remember.
Robert
No,
E.
I
Lee.
don't know that.
Robert E. Lee.
Oh, there you go. Oh, I didn't know that.
In the beginning of the Civil War, General Robert E. Lee was asked to be the commander of the Union forces by Abraham Lincoln,
Do that.
but refused to fight against his home state. After he was then asked by the newly elected president of the Confederacy, Jefferson Davis, to leave his home to become a commander of the Confederate forces. It would not be long before the Union forces would capture the home of Lee, known as the Custis Lee House. It overlooked the capital of the United States. As Union soldiers would fall in combat near the home, they were buried in the yard and gardens of the Lee home to send a gruesome and disrespectful message to the Lee family. When the war ended and the surrender was signed, the Lee family never returned home to their family land. Instead, Congress purchased the home in 1883, and it continued to be used as a cemetery for the fallen Union soldiers and eventually their Confederate adversaries.
Yeah. Excellent history.
Something,
I never
huh?
knew any of that. That is so amazing.
I didn't know that.
At the end of the Civil War, the Supreme Court almost had a Supreme Court ruling almost caused a mass exhumation. How do you say exhumation?
Yeah.
Taking the bodies out of there?
Exhumation?
Exhumation?
Exhumation.
Okay. Let's see. Where's the part of this? There was an estimated 17,000 buried at what would become Arlington after it was illegally confiscated by the Lee family. From the Lee family, right? During the war and used as officers' quarters for those who were stationed there. Although after the war, Lee and his wife never returned to Arlington, Lee's son fought Congress over the ownership of the property and won.
So Congress paid him.
The decisions stated that the property must be fully restored to the family in the manner in which it was confiscated. Wow.
There you go.
And had the decision been properly fulfilled, it would have caused the exhumation of 17,000 graves. However, having no desire to cause such blatant disrespect to the fallen soldiers, Lee's son agreed to sell the property for $150,000.
That was huge back then.
That's a lot of money.
Huge.
Wow. Yeah, back then, yeah. Which is how they had all that money to invest in that chicken place, by the way.
That's right, exactly. Thriving today. There's a bunch of chains. That was good, Larry.
Don't believe that. Don't believe that. I was kidding. I don't want that to end up in some email.
It will now.
Somewhere. The first soldier to be buried with military honors at what would become Arlington was Private William Christman on May 13th, 1864, and since then there have been hundreds of thousands more brave soldiers who have paid the ultimate price to defend our freedom buried there. Today, Arlington remains the only national cemetery that serves as the final resting place for soldiers that have fallen in every single American war. There is no exact answer to how many people are buried there.
Gosh.
Wow.
Gosh.
Well, just think of the 17,000 that were buried even before it was a cemetery.
Yes. It is
17,000.
Estimated that over 400,000 men and women are there. So
gosh.
It takes your breath away. I think Robert said it best. Yeah, I think we forget that 600,000 soldiers died during the Civil War.
Wow.
Yeah.
600,000.
And plus.
And plus.
Yeah.
The Eternal Flame is located at Arlington at a memorial to John F. Kennedy, President Kennedy. It was originally proposed that Kennedy would be buried in Massachusetts because that's where he lived. In a discussion of where to bury the president, though, Jacqueline Kennedy spoke quietly to those in attendance and said he belongs to the people. So, after that meeting, arrangements were made to have the president buried at Arlington.
Yeah, she was a
Well,
smart
and he
lady.
earned it from what he did in the Navy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great Navy guy.
Oh, yeah, he was the PT 109 and all of that, you know. Gosh. He earned that right.
Kennedy's funeral on November 3rd, 3 p.m. November 16th, 1963, with many world leaders in attendance, complete with a 50 airplane flyover and one special flyover made by Air Force One in which the plane dipped its wing as a final salute to the president.
Gosh.
Wow.
That imagery is still
The
in
eternal
my
flame
head.
is visited by thousands every year. The next thing that is unique to Arlington, let's see, okay, I told you about the old guard. Let's see, the tomb itself, the unknown soldier. Let's see, why there may never be another soldier buried at the tomb of the unknown soldier. Okay, because of the DNA technology. That's easy question.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first Memorial Day celebrated at Arlington was May 30th, 1868. It was called Decoration Day, celebrated what would become Arlington National Cemetery. The celebration was commemorated by the Commander-in-Chief of the Army of the Republic, John Logan, with several dignitaries such as Ulysses S. Grant. And let me squeeze in the last one. I think I've given you most. Here. I missed a couple. Oh gosh, how did I miss these ones?
We have time.
Did we?
Yeah.
After Lee's estate was wrongly confiscated by the Union Army, the U.S. government set aside a small amount of land that would serve as a model community for the newly emancipated slaves. This area came to be known as Freedmen's Village. The village was complete with a school, a church, hospital, and a mess hall. And the village continued its operation until it closed in 1900. During its time of inhabitants, there were over 4,000 people who died in Freedmen's Village. Their graves are unnamed and marked with either civilian or citizen engraved in the tombstones. It's part of Arlington.
I didn't know that.
It was a town.
I didn't know that. The whole town.
There are 3 prisoners of war buried at Arlington. When America entered World War II, do I have time for this?
Yes.
Alongside the Allied powers, the Geneva Convention had already been established to set aside the rules of war and those rules concerning the fair treatment of prisoners of war. America would be known to treat POWs with respect and be well taken care of, in the hopes that the enemy would also treat the prisoners of U.S. in the same dignity. Among the thousands of POWs that were taken to America, one German soldier named Anton Hilbereth and 2 Italian soldiers, Arcangelo Prudenza and Mario Battista, died during their captivity of disease. Under the Geneva Convention, the government is also required to bury those POWs who die in captivity. So there are 3. Those are the 3 buried in Arlington.
Oh, wow.
Did not know that.
And the last one, there's a big sculpture there.
Such great research.
There are several great stories of valor about soldiers who are buried at Arlington who gave the ultimate price for our country. However, there are not very many stories about those who were not killed in action and went on to honor their comrades in very different ways. During the desperate and final days of the Civil War, the Confederate forces felt the increasing need of manpower on the battlefield. The rebel generals, after feeling the strain of low numbers, requested a cadet regiment from the nearby Virginia Military Institute to fight the Battle of New Market. 10 cadets were either killed in action or later died of their wounds and are honored every year by the modern cadet regiments of the Virginia Military Institute, immortalized in the movie Field of Lost Shoes.
Oh my gosh.
Have you seen that movie?
No, I have not.
No.
Among those who fought at the Battle of New Market under the cadet regiment was Moses Ezekiel of Virginia. Moses not only was the first Jewish cadet at the Virginia Military Institute, he also went on to become the world-famous sculptor with works all over the eastern United States and in Italy. He lived the remainder of his life in Rome and returned to Virginia, where he sculpted one of the largest statues on Arlington grounds.
How fascinating.
It's the Confederate Memorial at Arlington National Cemetery.
Gosh.
Wow.
How fascinating.
There you go. All right. I hope I didn't take too much time doing that. Hope that was interesting for everybody.
I thought so.
I liked it.
Galen, where's the Bloodmobile?
Bloodmobile today is at the Public at 40 Shopping Center.
All right. Go donate blood. Galen, have a great weekend. Thank you for everything.
Oh, yeah. No problem. You guys are the best. Thanks, Sean.
We'll be right back.
In Wu, one of the world's most wanted terrorists is believed to be dead. The voice of the masked jihadi John heard on ISIS videos showing the killings of what